Been a more prudent course of action to continue the investigation and figure out what's going on?
A corrupt cop, trapped, cornered, and realizing the noose is tightening. Today, we're diving deep into that heart-pounding moment that shakes our belief in the laws. Yes, this incident will make you think, are we really protected under the law? Meet Sergeant Richard Kirkland, the main player in this crazy story. Alongside him are officers Kay Beatty and Brett Galt. They're getting interrogated by the New Smyrna Beach Police Department. Wondering why? Let's rewind to a cold night on December 14th, 2021. Officers Galt and Beatty got a call from the brewery company's manager. The issue? Jeffrey Gray, an innocent veteran, holding a sign saying, "God bless the homeless." The manager thought his rights were violated, and customers were uncomfortable as Jeff asked money from them. Officer Galt steps up, talks with Jeff, and asks for his ID. But Jeff, smart guy, knows he doesn't have to.
Invoking my right to remain silent, invoking my right to have my attorney present during questions. I'm not answering questions, I'm not giving you an ID.
We have the right during an investigation to identify you.
I'm not identifying myself.
So you're going to end up going to jail.
I told him my name is Jeff, and that's all I'm giving you.
Hey, no, if you want to give us your information, then that's fine. But we still have to
Am I being detained at this point?
Yes.
For what?
For the identification of you, which is an investigation that they started.
He calmly says he can stand on the pavement without breaking any laws. Now the tension's thick. Officer Galt sees he might be in trouble. Jeff's not giving in, and the whole thing is caught on camera. It's the moment when things start to flip. Don't blink because it's about to get seriously interesting. Officer Galt, after chatting with the manager, decides to detain Jeff and slaps on those handcuffs. Officer Beatty steps in, trying to explain why they're doing this. But Jeff, he's on another level. He calmly tells the officers to proceed carefully because they're violating his rights. Jeff, believe it or not, seems to know more about the law than these two officers combined. He points out that they're twisting the violations they're charging him with because they're not well versed in the city ordinance on panhandling. As a result, Jeff filed a lawsuit against the three officers, which put them into the interrogation room. In the interrogation footage, Sergeant Kirkland faces the questions confidently. He spills the beans on Officers Galt and Beatty, providing the synopsis of the key findings from the report. Severance, the interviewer, leans over and tells Kirkland to spill the beans on what the officers did wrong. Kirkland takes a breath and starts explaining how Galt and Beatty messed up big time.
What happened?
Sure. So the ultimate findings are that the gentleman was not creating a crime, or was not committing a crime. He was completely within his rights. He was on a public sidewalk, and he was simply holding a sign saying, "God bless the homeless vets." Wasn't doing anything illegal or suspicious for that matter. They did not have a right to detain him, to seize him, his property, or anything. That was my ultimate findings. The way I got to those findings is I reviewed all the video that was recorded by the subject and posted to social media. I also reviewed the both body-worn cameras from Officer Galt and Officer Beatty.
On December 27th, 2021, the documents and videos, including YouTube footage and body cam recordings, landed on the desk for review. The evidence was building, and the pressure was on. Then, on the evening of Friday, December 31st, 2021, Officer Galt was sworn in. He was made fully aware of the perjury charges that would come his way if he reported any false information. The stakes were high, and he was given a guarantee warning, a serious matter in these situations.
When you made contact with, we'll call him Mr. Gray because we ultimately did identify him during the encounter. Can you describe the interaction you had with him?
I was just trying to be like people, like I am on most calls, just trying to get to know who he was, what his purpose was there. He was really blunt, not like straight up, not like asking or answering my just questions, just normal questions I had. Just what are you doing there? Is there a purpose you're up here? Stuff like that. He was just keeping to himself at that point.
Here, Officer Galt gets hit with the reality check. He messed up by violating Jeff's rights. See, every citizen has the right not to show ID, and it's clear he's not the law expert he should be. Now, on the evening of Sunday, January 2nd, 2022, Officer Beatty takes the oath, fully aware of the perjury consequences if he reports false facts like Officer Galt did.
For money, or another way to call it panhandling, in a public place, public sidewalk, is that a crime or a city ordinance violation?
To my knowledge now.
No, I want you to tell me what were you thinking.
When I came to the scene, when I came on scene, I did think we had a city ordinance. I swore we had a city ordinance.
Okay.
That you weren't allowed to panhandle. Even more so, because I could have sworn that
He's handed a detailed list of violations he committed by spreading wrong info about state statutes. Despite the lieutenant reminding him of the video evidence, Beatty tries every trick to twist the truth. In his mind, the officer thinks he can manipulate the law to his advantage, laughing at the idea that he could escape after being caught for spreading misinformation. Officer Beatty spills the beans, admitting he told Sergeant Kirkland about the mess after it happened, not before, like he was supposed to. And guess what Kirkland says? He lays it out plain and simple. They messed up big time. Kirkland tells Beatty they violated Mr. Gray's rights. Officers Beatty and Galt faced repercussions for violating Mr. Jeffrey Gray's rights over a sign that simply said, "God bless the homeless." Surprisingly, Jeff posed no threat. He had been peacefully on the sidewalk long before the officers misunderstood the city laws. Moreover, Sergeant Kirkland was accused too for his lack of proper supervision, and ensuring his officers understood city laws contributed to this unfortunate incident.